Right. So to kick things off, we wanted to talk about programmatic buying. And while it's not a new channel necessarily, it's remained a key consideration when media planning at EVR in 2021, and we expect it to continue into 2022 and beyond. And this is largely due to new opportunities and challenges triggered by things like the ongoing changes in data privacy laws, the impending removal of third-party cookies, the pandemic, and how that's affected video consumptions, to name a few. So what is programmatic? It's an automated way of digital media buying, and it really has three necessary components. The first one being real-time bidding. Historically, negotiations with a salesperson would be required, but through automation and algorithms, that is no longer required. So that makes programmatic buying really efficient, so you have more time to optimize. The second being on-the-fly optimization. You also have the added benefits from machine learning in that aspect. And then the third, and probably most important for the healthcare industry, is data and advanced targeting, finding the right person at the right time using a variety of data. Because healthcare marketers face sort of a unique challenge of maintaining HIPAA compliance, this one's especially important. And with programmatic buying, it's also omni-channel, so you can purchase a variety of placements, including display ads, video, native, out-of-home, OTT, connected TV, digital audio, to name just some of them. So how it works. While the technology behind programmatic buying is certainly complicated, we've tried to simplify the process of how it works using this visual. I think it can sometimes help just to compare it to Google Display Network to get a better idea of how they differ. So Google Display Network, you have access to inventory across sites that are part of the Google AdSense program. So if you're running a display campaign and you go to Google Ads and you set it up through Google Display Network, you have access to about 2 million websites. However, with programmatic, you are purchasing your advertisements through a DSP, which integrate with multiple ad exchanges, so you can purchase across many networks from a single platform. So long story short, Google Display is one ad network, but through an ad exchange, you have availability of various ad networks. So it really helps you scale your reach and gather more impressions in that sense. So if you aren't already considering programmatic, we wanted to also call out a couple data points below. 95% of internet users can be reached via programmatic. And to put that into perspective, Google Display Network only reaches about 70%. And finally, it's projected that programmatic ad spend will reach $133 billion in 2023, which is a 117% increase from 2019. So you can sort of just see the impact of programmatic that it's had over the years, and it continues to grow. So this is sort of circling back on that third component I mentioned earlier, data and advanced targeting being one of the main components of programmatic. There are certain targeting limitations and restrictions that healthcare marketers face in maintaining HIPAA compliance. And you've probably experienced this firsthand if you've ever attempted to run a campaign through Google Display Network. For example, remarketing is prohibited for healthcare marketers. But with programmatic buying, you have more options and more advanced targeting available. So you can find those users without some of the restrictions you might face by just going through Google Display Network. And that would include things like anonymized privacy safe data, third-party audiences from trusted services, lookalike audiences, remarketing, and niche audiences, which I think is prevalent for a lot of healthcare marketing campaigns we've seen. So some of the other targeting you might have available to you are geo-targeting, geofencing, custom segments, again, that are still HIPAA compliant, dynamic retargeting and third-party targeting, again, that you might not have available through Google Display Network. And then this is just an example of one of the campaigns we actually ran through programmatically. It was for a substance use disorder campaign, and we ran some display ads that you can see on the right here. And this shows you some of the targeting we had available. We targeted adults 18 plus looking for related inpatient or outpatient services for themselves or family members, referring providers, community and social services organizations. And we were able to do that through some third-party audiences that you can see below. So again, just showing you some of the more advanced targeting we had available by purchasing these ads programmatically rather than just through Google Display. So to wrap up this section, we wanted to give you some of the DSPs and vendors that we work with. We work with a variety of these DSPs and programmatic vendors to make sure we're always utilizing whatever makes most sense for the campaign we're working on at that specific time. Some of them include Semcasting, which has IP unique geofencing and IP targeting that some other vendors might not necessarily have. StackAdapt, their bread and butter are native placements. So if you're looking to test those out, StackAdapt is definitely one we recommend. AdTheorent is sort of one we've prioritized moving forward, just knowing that the post-cookie future is coming. They leverage non-sensitive data and predictive targeting to identify the most qualified individuals. So when third-party cookies get outlawed soon by Chrome, they're set up pretty well in that aspect. And then Google Display Network, I know we've touched on it a little bit, and while it's not programmatic, we wanted to call it out here just because we do think it's a great option in certain situations. It's very affordable if you're just starting to dip your toe into display and video advertising. And if you're just using a broad audience, it's also great for that too, since you won't need some of the advanced targeting available through programmatic buying.